Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much and welcome for attending this auspicious occasion. I would like to invite everyone, please, every able-bodied person, please stand and transport the flag, and we'll do a I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much, and have a seat, please. Again, I'd like to thank everyone for coming tonight. This is a very prestigious ceremony that we put on annually, and I've been selected to MC the VFW portion of it. We're actually responsible for putting it on tonight. Hans has left the room. Oh, there it is. Everybody knows who I am. I'm Ed Schuyler. I'm the commander of the VFW, and this is Hans Schindler, my astute colleague from the American Legion, Thomas Tucker, Post 204. I'm proud to be in attendance tonight, and I'm tickled to death to see such a supportive community come in here and render some respect to these young people. Just tickled to death to be here. What I'd like to do is I would like to call the names of the presenters up one at a time and have them present their particular plaques to the recipients. My first presentation tonight is going to be for the California Highway Patrol. Joe Micheletti, would you please step forward?
First of all, good evening, everyone. It's great to see you all here supporting these fine men and women. I want to also recognize that law enforcement specifically has had a pretty tough, if you will, pretty tough year. So this is really a special event that I look forward to, and I want to thank the American Legion for putting it on. VFW for putting it on. I really appreciate that. And again, thank all of you for being here to support these folks. If I could have Officer Boyd Taylor come forward. Boyd Taylor has been with the CHP now for about 15 years, and he's spent the last 4.5 years here in the Susanville area. For those of you that don't know, Boyd grew up here. He went to Richmond Elementary and graduated from Lassen High. Boyd currently lives in Janesville with his wife Ray and his 3 daughters, Dakota, Cosette, and Cora. The Taylors are very involved in the community, which includes church, 4-H, and other community groups. Officer Taylor was nominated Officer of the Year for his strong work ethic, dependability, honesty, trustworthiness, and dedication to the people he works with and the community he serves. For the past year, the Susanville area, Chester Resident Post, and the Chester Resident Post experienced severe personnel shortages. Even though it created a hardship for Boyd, he stepped up and volunteered to work in the Chester Resident Post for a year. I thank Boyd for doing that. He is also the area union representative, the squad club president. He is passionate about everything related to guns and is an accomplished author. Boyd is a man of high character, and I am proud to be associated with him. Accordingly, I am very happy to present Officer Boyd as the Susanville area's Officer of the Year for 2015.
Thank you, Captain Joe Micheletti. For our next presentation, we would like to have Lane Caldwell, if you're in, for the
CAL FIRE.
Good evening. CAL FIRE Last Modoc Plymouth Unit nominated our Law Enforcement and Prevention Bureau for the Firefighter of the Year for the American Legion Post number 204. Our Fire Prevention Bureau is staffed with Chief Mark Rotlesberger, Specialist Mike Keating, Silas Rojas, and Fire Captain Shane Vargas. Their exemplary work, ethic, and attention to detail has made them worthy of recognition and appreciation. Here are some of the highlights of their prevention and law enforcement duties. Law enforcement and patrol, fire investigation including cause and origin, volunteers in prevention, fire prevention education, public information, fire prevention engineering, and many, many more things that they do that we can't possibly cover tonight. Please join us in congratulating CAL FIRE Last Modoc Plymouth Unit Law Enforcement and Prevention Bureau.
One more round of applause for these young men. Thank you, Division Chief Lane Caldwell. For our next presentation will be for High Desert State Prison, and I would like to call Suzanne Peary and Suzanne Peary. I may have made a mistake. He's taking pictures.
All right. Thank you to the VFW for honoring our law enforcement this year. I would like to call Correctional Officer Stacy Emerson up, if I can read this. Correctional Officer Emerson began her career with the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation on December 8th of 2014. Officer Emerson has worked a variety of positions throughout High Desert State Prison as a correctional officer and has proven to exceed all expectations and consistently demonstrates her commitment to the department. Officer Emerson is currently assigned to Facility B, Building 1 during second watch shift, which is the busiest shift of the day. Facility B is a level 4 sensitive needs yard and one of the most violent yards at High Desert State Prison. Officer Emerson is instrumental to the daily success of the unit and a valued team member of the sensitive needs yard's mission. Officer Emerson holds herself to a very high standard of excellence and consistently surpasses the expectations of her supervisors. Officer Emerson has a strong work ethic and requires little or no supervision to complete her tasks. On July 11th of 2015, High Desert State Prison Correctional Officer Stephen Hobbs was the victim of a hit and run on Highway 395 near Cold Springs, Nevada. Excuse me. Directly following the incident, High Desert State Prison Correctional Officer Stacy Emerson was on her way to work when she came upon the scene and saw a man, obviously a victim of some kind of accident, lying on the highway. Putting her own safety in danger, Officer Emerson stopped her vehicle and approached the victim. Unbeknownst to her, it was Officer Hobbs. Officer Emerson, being a new officer, did not personally know Officer Hobbs. All she knew was there was a person in need of immediate assistance. Upon approaching Officer Hobbs, Officer Emerson noted that he was unresponsive and not breathing. She immediately started CPR at the risk of her own life as his body was in the fast lane of the highway. While Officer Hobbs eventually succumbed to his injuries, Officer Emerson was able to revive him so he could be transported to the hospital And Officer Hobbs' wife stated that she was truly grateful to Officer Emerson as she gave her the chance to say goodbye to her husband. It is with great pride and for all the reasons that we nominate Correctional Officer Stacy Emerson for the Veteran of Foreign Wars Officer of the Year for 2015. Officer Emerson displays the same morals and ethics, whether on or off the job, and is an asset to the community and the Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation as a whole. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Suzanne. Our next presentation, California Correctional Center. We'd like Georgia Johas, CDW, and Bob Gower from California Correctional Center Warden. Please step forward.
Sergeant Adam Skillen, please step forward.
Just making sure. I'd like to start by thanking the VFW and the American Legion for having us here today and being able to present this award. We're very thankful for this opportunity. Sergeant Skillen, thank you very much for coming up. And so let me just read a little bit about you, if you let me. Adam was active in the Army from June 1994 through November 2006. When he was honorably discharged as a staff sergeant. He deployed to Germany, Bosnia, Kosovo, Afghanistan, and Iraq during that time. Then he started his career with CDCR and CCC, January 28, 2008. As a new officer at CCC, Adam quickly took advantage of the opportunities available to teach and instruct staff. In 2010, he became certified in CPR and also our reality-based alarm response training instructor. In 2011, he became a master CPR instructor. And he also became a member and coordinator of the CCC Honor Guard. In 2013, he joined the ranks as baton instructor, and in 2014, range master. He's very dedicated to training, and I very much appreciate that. He is very passionate about staff safety and putting forth as much effort as possible into training programs at CCC. And with that, there was an opportunity recently that has become our in-service training sergeant. He's the primary instructor for all the staff training, and we thank him very much for that. Adam is also a member of our peer support team, which is very important to us. The program offers support and guidance to staff that need assistance with issues both at home and the workplace. He is understanding and well acquainted with the difficulties life has to offer. He takes time to listen to staff and offers direction and assistance to those in need every time he's asked. So a little more personally, we thank him for being all this to us at CCC. As I've mentioned, he's a great instructor. He's very passionate about his work. We've had many occasions where he has taken a stance and he very much supports his staff and the department at the same time in his arguments, and I very much appreciate that. So also as a supervisor, Adam, you lead by example. You use all your real life experiences to teach people, which makes you very easy to relate to. Separately, Adam enjoys a lot of things. I don't know how many know, but he's actually currently active in 3 bands as a drummer. And as in the Susanville Symphony as a drummer in addition, and a percussionist. He's a father of 5, thank you to his family for being here today, and a very devoted husband. He also has many friends in the department, and for those of you that know, but most of them are here, a lot of them are here today. And thank you all for coming. He also enjoys hunting, fishing, and time with his family and friends. He comes from a local family and graduated from Lassen High School. On and off duty, Adam Skillen is professional, hardworking, understanding, and a joy to keep company with. So thank you very much, Adam.
Thank you very much from High Desert State Prison. At this time, I'd like to introduce my co-sponsor, the commander of the American Legion Thomas Tucker Post 204, Hans Schindler.
Repeating, thank you for coming, thank you for attending, thank you for rooting for all of these people here that we sponsor. And I'd also like to say that we had to pick up the load for the Marine Corps League, so there are a couple extra here that wouldn't have been presented without them. They have some organizational problems. With that said, a little history that I got verbally is that this wasn't always the case with the presentation of awards to peace officers and firefighters. When it came by about 30, 40 years ago, one of the members of the Legion, said, why don't we do it? So here we are. With that said, first on the list is Deputy Sheriff Dustin Russell, presented by Under Sheriff John Minow.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, if we could first, I just want to take a minute and thank the American Legion and the VFW. I know that I speak for every peace officer and firefighter that stands in this room tonight when I tell you it is with the honor that it is for us to get to come here with an event sponsored by our veterans, by the men and women that wore the uniform of our country, that they take this time every year to stop and honor the local public safety officials in our community. And I thank you all, both of you, every veteran in this house for your service, and thank you all for being here tonight to honor our local public safety officials. I'm here tonight on behalf of Sheriff Dean Groudon. He is, unfortunately, was taken down to the Capitol on county business, so I'm very proud when I get to stand in for him in events like this. Our Deputy Sheriff of the Year, as was already announced, is Dustin Russell. Dustin has been with us since 2007. He started his career here as a correctional officer in the Lassen County Jail. He served as both a line officer. He helped train some of our new people. He was also one of the people that we appointed as an acting supervisor. So he was the watch commander. He helped lead that building every single night, whether it's 2 a.m. or Christmas Eve, it didn't matter. Dustin was one of the people who was there in the middle of the night, helping take care of that jail for us. After he spent some time in the jail, he decided that he wanted to expand his horizons. He wanted to expand his service to our community, and he took a leave of absence so he could put himself through the police academy. Now, for those of you that don't know, that law enforcement academy is about 6 months long now, and that is a daunting task for anyone who is still trying to support a household, still trying to be a devoted husband, and try and get that done. But Dustin did it. He stepped out. He got down to the academy. He got himself through there on his own dime, with his own sweat, with his own brains, and without any help, without any support. And that's a rare thing anymore. But Dustin did it. He got through. He came back. He jumped very quickly into the patrol car, and he was a very quick study through the training program. He is a resident deputy back in his hometown of Westwood. And for those of you that don't know, our resident deputies, they are the it for their town. Dustin is the sheriff for that town. When people call 911, they know who they're going to get. They know what they're going to get. when they call for him. He has, after just a couple of years on patrol, we have selected him to be a field training officer, which is as important of work as we do. That means that we entrust to him to take all of the values and all the things that he does and show brand new people how to do them and try and cut the next mold, the next generation of deputy sheriffs in Lassen County to be just like this guy. I can't say enough about when we're looking for a peace officer, this is the image that we hope for. And Google peace officer, and you might see this guy. He is exactly what we hope to find when we recruit deputy sheriffs. He is truly committed to us, to the community. He is a devoted husband and father, and I couldn't be more proud to be on this stage with him and thank him for his service and to be here to share this night with you, Dustin.
Next. Susanville Police Department. Chief Tom Downing shall present.
Thank you. Before I invite up the recipient from the Susanville Police Department, I'd like to echo the comments of the undersheriff that we are very grateful and honored and humbled by the opportunity to stand before you as veterans, as a veteran myself, and allow you to honor those who serve the homeland and serve in our hometown. So I appreciate you giving us that opportunity. As a young boy and someone who might have been a little bit taller, but I doubt it, but did have a little bit more hair than I had, I stood at this podium once before too, but as the recipient. So I understand what it feels like and what an honor it is to receive that nomination. Before I move on, I also want to thank all of my staff, who's the majority of them are standing in the back of the room with their backs against the wall, as normal. Some of them have beards, as you notice, but what I'd like to say to them is that if it wasn't for you, our community wouldn't be as safe as it is today, and I appreciate every one of you. And if I could invite all of you up like CAL FIRE did to receive that award, I would do so tonight. So thank you for your service and what you do to our community. So with that, we only get to choose one, and so I'd like to invite up Officer Tara Avila to receive this award tonight. So you can see why she was chosen as the Officer of the Year for Susanville Police Department. A little bit of personal information about Tara. She is a resident of Susanville, coming here after I stole her away from the Nevada Department of Public Safety. She was able to finally come and live with her husband Frank, who is the Lassen College baseball coach, and probably the rock behind the scenes that allows her to be able to be the police officer she is. And Anna, that young baby girl there that he's holding over in the corner. So Tara started working for us in November of 2013, just 2 years ago. In a very short amount of time, it was easy to identify the traits in Tara that would make her a good police officer, but more importantly, would make her a good school resource officer for Lassen High School. So 1 year later, before she even was off probation, and had only actually worked for us for a couple of months because she was on maternity leave for 9 months of her probationary period. I don't know how that works out, but she worked it out somehow. So we assigned her to Lassen High School, and she continues to work at the high school, serving the community there, the students, and the staff, maintaining a safe environment, learning environment for our kids. And she develops and continues every single day developing a positive relationship with the staff, and most importantly with the youth in our community, with law enforcement, because that's where we're going to make a difference in society. It's in our youth. And that's what she does there every single day. And she does a phenomenal job at that. I couldn't ask for a better school resource officer. Not often does a week go by that someone doesn't come up to me and tell me how good of a job Tara's doing. That's someone in the community, that's a high school kid, or even her own peers in the back of the room. In a very short amount of time, she's established herself as a dynamic, mature, outstanding public servant and officer. And that's what's important about Officer Avila. Is it's not just that she's an officer, she's a public servant, and she serves our community very well. Everything she does, she works hard at it and with passion, sometimes a little bit more passion than we can stand at the office, but we do the best we can. Am I right? Yeah, that's true. But not only does she do that just because she gets paid, she does it because she cares about her community. And that's evidence in the programs that she's been involved in, that she spends a lot of time actively planning and coordinating events in our community to reach youth or other individuals in our community through the Policeman's Ball, as well as the Shop with a Cop program that allows underprivileged children in our community to get a gift during Christmas time. And an officer walks them around Walmart and they go shopping, and it's a great connection. That is at the hands of Officer Avila and the help of all of these others in the back of the room. It's important to tell you that Officer Avila was not only my choice for this award and recognition tonight, but she was also chosen by her peers. So it's historically, or it's common, it's my practice at the police department that we have a ballot process that allows the staff to tell me or to identify someone in the organization who I should choose for Officer of the Year. This year it was overwhelming. She was voted in by more than 68% of the individuals at the police department that chose her. And here are some excerpts. This year I allowed for a secret ballot and for some of them to make some comments as to why they thought the person that they were nominating should be chosen for that position. And I want to share a couple of them with you. Represents the department well. Willing to go the extra mile on her own time to create and maintain a great image for law enforcement. This year, there is no more deserving person of this honor than Officer Avila. Officer Avila has fully embraced the role as a school resource officer, trying to connect with the youth in this community. Officer Avila is a great example of how community-oriented policing should work. I could not agree with those comments more. Officer is a great asset to me personally, to our department, but most importantly to our community. And I am honored and I am privileged to stand before you and before her today and present her Susanville Police Department's 2015 Officer of the Year.
Next, we have the Lassen County Search and Rescue, and the presenter will be team member Leonard Potter.
Thank you, Hans. I used to work for him many years ago. I had to bring that up. The recipient this year for Lassen County Search and Rescue Officer of the Year is Lieutenant Marcus Pacheco. Marcus, come on up here. Marcus, I would hate to say this, but what year did you join the team? Yeah, he can't remember either. It's been a lot of years. Hans introduced me as team member. Probably most of you don't know, I'm the past commander of Lassen County Search and Rescue, and Marcus has been one of my right-hand people for many, many years. We have spent many, many hours in the command center running a search looking for lost people of this county. And for those who you don't know, All our services are 100% volunteer, and we never charge for anything. So with that, Marcus, congratulations. My most grateful thanks to you for being there for me. And sir, congratulations.
Next, we have Susanville Fire Department. And presenter will be, I don't think I got around to it yet.
Dan Weaver.
You can make up for it.
We'll take it from here. First of all, I'd like to thank the VFW for putting this on, and all of you, and friends and family. Everybody knows what sacrifice goes into the training and professionalism that goes into this room, and friends and family that you have to share part of that sacrifice too. So thank you all for being here, doing what you do. The Susanville Fire Department's Firefighter of the Year is Andrew Jarrett. If you want to step up there. Don't look so stiff. So Andrew came to our fire department in 2010. And was kind of a quiet, shy individual when he first got here, and he found his fire family a little bit dysfunctional, but we're still family, and came to be a brother for us all. And since then, he was quiet when he first got here, but now you can't hardly shut him up. So and during that 5 years since he's been here, he's helped us out on many projects around the fire department. He's gone on, during the summer, he goes on our OES and fights the major fires out across the state. Has become a very good hand around the station, on fires. Very, very reliable kind of a guy. And I can't say enough about him. He's found his voice. He's starting to help out a lot more in our training. He's actually becoming one of the senior guys, somebody that we rely on heavily. And if you look up dedication in the dictionary, not Google, it probably says Andrew Jarrett on there. So, congratulations, Andrew.
Next on the agenda, itinerary. I need all the help I can get. Lassen County Fire Officers Association. Presenter will be Fire Chief of the Susan River Fire Department, Jim Uberl. Right there.
When I was originally approached to come up with a Fireman of the Year in our department, it was pretty tough because I have so many people in our department that are very dedicated. anytime we reach out, we need them, most of them are always there. This time we kind of looked back at who's been the most dedicated, who has stepped up to the plate this coming year, or this past year, and it was pretty obvious on who actually ended up with it. He has no clue that he's on this plaque tonight, but I'd like to bring up Ruben Molina. And I mean, every time we reach out to need something done, any fundraising, anything, we ask for Ruben. He never complains. He always gets in there and gets the job done. Now, if you talk to some of the Highway Patrol, they might have some different opinions on Ruben. But I mean, he's very dedicated. He has hardly missed any calls that have came out in the last 6 months, unless if he's at work. It's about the only time he ever misses a call. So thank you, Ruben.
And now, lastly, but I'm sure completely deserving, is for the Lassen County Probation Department, which I had problems figuring out who they were at the time, but we got it done. That would be Chief Probation Officer Jennifer Brannon will be the presenter.
Good evening, everyone. I too would also like to thank the VFW and the American Legion for putting on such a wonderful event. I would also like to call up our Peace Officer of the Year, which is Juvenile Detention Supervisor Leonard Watson. Leonard Watson has been working with the probation department as a juvenile detention supervisor since 2008. He has brought to his employment a professional manner, and he is always well liked by all of his colleagues and everybody else in the other agencies that he collaborates with. It's apparent that Leonard is always looking out for the best interest of the children and the families that he works with. He is always commended by his supervisors for his dedication and his motivation. He is also an instructor in our facility for several classes that he has created with the Board of State and Community Corrections. Leonard also assisted with the state with the task analysis for juvenile corrections and probation officers, which was quite a daunting task. His creativity, motivation, and effort will no doubt continue to show improvements in the programs that we offer in our juvenile detention facility. Leonard is hardworking and has a willingness to always learn, and he is always taking extra shifts to provide coverage when we're short-staffed or when somebody else just needs a vacation. He has brought to our department his professionalism and a great sense of humor. With his dedication and passion, he has truly become an asset to our department, and we appreciate all of his efforts. And I'm very honored tonight to present him with this year's Peace Officer of the Year Award.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That will conclude our ceremony tonight, and I really appreciate everybody coming in. You know, that's our community. A bunch of really dedicated folks come down here and share in this auspicious occasion. Please join us. We're all finished at this point. Please join us over here. The Ladies Auxiliary from the American Legion and VFW have provided us with some really nice goodies, and there's coffee and water. Please come over here and enjoy that with us and have a little bit of handshaking time. Thank you very much for coming.